What is the act of doing? What does it mean? One is doing. Who is a doer? Who is that what did it? What did you do yesterday? What are you going to do tomorrow? Who's investigating? Who's asking the questions? Who's interrogating myself? Who wants to know these things? Why would one want to know these things? You're interrogating yourself. It doesn't have to be an external interrogator. You ask these questions every day. What did I do yesterday? Did I do something worthwhile? And if I didn't, will I do it better tomorrow? What will I be doing in 20 years' time if I continue with this mundane job? How will I get out of this? How will I get out of this? Ramana Maharshi says, not this, nati nati. To deny that this is to deny I. You see? Who is I? Who is the goddamn I that measures and judges and evaluates what it did? I did nothing yesterday of any value. Therefore, I am a failure in yesterday's. So therefore, I must attempt to move out of this failureship and be a success tomorrow. Now, how am I going to do it? All of this planning organization is taking place in the present moment. Is it not? You're not traveling back into the past to organize a further back past. You're not moving into the future to see 20 years what you're going to be doing, because in that future, if you were able to go 20 years down the line, you'd be looking at the further 20 years. And you would be in the present moment. Like all of this is taking place in the present moment. This particular I, whatever this particular I is, really matters not to itself. Because when it tries to examine value and analyze itself, it breaks itself into states of qualities. Because we, the human race, have created qualities, different states. Good and bad, both are the same. But your mind that has been conditioned into learning this and to believing this and to accepting this will not question good and bad, will not question the values of before it was given the names good and bad. What was it before it was given the name good and bad? Was there a need to evaluate, to quantify, to summarize, to find an opposing better state than what is taking place now? You see, the idea of any ego mind conditioned human state, which all are at some point, some experience it higher ego, and we move in and out of ego, but some get out of ego continue to live in this egoistic world as a simple ego being, and some absolutely thrive on their ego mind and continue to dominate and want and challenge and explore and discover things that are already here. But that's either way, it's not a judgmental point from the speaker. It's to say this is what takes place, and there's no right way or no position that is an overall rightful way other than the way that you're in when you know that what you're in. I know when I say I know, this is an ego. I know. When I say I don't know, this is also an ego. But one simply says nothing, with no thoughts about what is taking place, judgment, valuation, analyzing myself or life, just one whole, like they call it non-dual, momentary awareness. You're not ego. There's no ego there. There's no person there. There's no I there. There's nothing there to give a narrative on what is taking place. So in our human life, we cannot communicate without ego. But effective communication, effective meaning wise communication, is that what does not try and understand, value, measure, try and see from both points of view, my point of view and your point of view. There's no me and you. There's just a garbling, a warbling of words that are masking something very, very pure, a meeting between two unbelievably, incredibly organic forms with a mind that loves, and loves. The idea is not for any speaker in any way or form to give advice, to give guidance, to try and make another understand. The idea is for you to question yourself and question the world of nature. But don't question another being. Don't question any other human form and say, well, I don't know why that one is acting like that. Why are you responding like that to the act of that? Who are you that is responding to the act of another? What is your act at that moment of time? Why are you acting as if you know something about something else when you don't know anything about who the actor is within you? The whole thing is a questioning. And through the questions, you can go through every question in the book. You can take the long way. Or you can simply question I. The master key, as Muji says. The great Muji says, the master key is I. The speaker says the secret to truth is I. But you're not trying to get rid of your mini I and hold on to your permanent I. You're trying to get rid of both I's. Meaning, you vocalize these I's in your speech every day, but you're not taking this I as a personal me or a personal you or a place where I dominates. When you see the I that dominates, whether it's the minuscule ego I or the pure I, it is a system. It is a systematic way, not a conspiring group of aliens or people who have created this incredible way to control and dominate. No. Life itself, our confused way of not being able to communicate effectively, creates a defective I, that we say, okay, we have to make something effective out of this I. But like a speaker says, the only way to communicate effectively is by not speaking, is in silence. But that's impossible. So we have to participate in this ineffective and effective world. But when you know your true, not your true, but the truth about what this is all about, you're not complying, you're not able to comply with effectiveness and ineffectiveness, with pain and pleasure. Everything is as it is. Everything is one whole moment. There's no more questions. The questions are now falling back into that, I wonder. I wonders. And when I wonders, meaning it goes off and organizes its future. It goes into the past to see what it was. Was I a good boy? Or was I a bad boy? How can I change? What religion can I go into? What other practice or method? The whole object is to remove all these practices and methods that Ramana Maharshi says. There is no such thing as religion. There's no such thing as science. There's no such thing as atheism. There's no such thing as any human state. These are identities. These are names born from a mind that wants to try and recover its effective way of being here purely and able to communicate without any imbalance. How do you think so many go into the caves of Himalaya when they've been enlightened? Sit under bonsai trees for days and days because they know that it doesn't matter what they do in this effective and ineffective ways. It doesn't matter how much they try, how less they try. It's not going to work because that's our human side has developed such a vast ego that it kind of dominates the reason that we're here, the purpose of we're here. So to find the purpose and the reason that each one is here as an individual, not an individual I, not an individual me, not an individual self, but as an individual universal, vast, nothing, empty, wise, infinite, immortals, whatever. You have to take a step back from this and go right into the core of both eyes and see through. Meaning, where will these eyes lead this I to? The ego I, the me I, the story I, go through it, deny it, not this I, not this I, not this me, not this you, not this world, not this thing. You'll go through it into that pure I. Most stay in the pure I because that's okay. And then they become speakers on how to develop your mind and how to practice and how to be in the present, how to create or do away with suffering. And they are effective. They are effective in this human world. Some go through that secondary I and they've nothing to say. They've nothing to know. They just say, if you want to find out what it is, you have to question your whole self. You have to question this I. And it matters not, because when you question this I, you can either stay under the bonsai tree for the rest of your life, or you can, as the speaker chose, come back into this effective and ineffective world and just smile and say, it's okay. Because the ineffective and effective mind will at some point have to really truly die with the body, with the world. But there's a sense of that's okay, because that what is beyond is eternal. Namaste.